Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tudes Talking Motorcycles podcast. My name is Mitch. You can follow me on Instagram at Meech to the Beach.
And my name is Gleb, and you can follow me on Instagram at GlebLapham.
And as always, we have our podcast socials, TDT Motorcycles on Instagram. Or if you have comments, questions, concerns, you can send us emails, tdtmotorcycles@gmail.com.
And today we're going to be talking about discouragement.
Yeah, we're here to discourage you from writing.
We're going to encourage you to deal with discouragement.
Yeah.
Not really, but.
Yeah. And like, I guess just to start it off, we all have parts of life where we have we get into low points or we got a lot going on and life can just weigh on you. That's normal, right?
A little bit,
yeah.
Or things just get busy.
Yeah.
Or too many things are happening all at once.
Which we know that that's like.
Yeah.
But, and like, I got the idea just because like everything that I've had going on has been like, it's like, boy, I just don't want to ride. Like when I have a moment, and we have, but I've been like finding ways to deal with that and get over it and to get out riding.
Yeah.
But like what gave me the idea to talk about this episode was I went on a ride last weekend. I was like I'm going to force myself to go get out and ride. And I still was having this anxious, just like, what am I doing out here? Like I've been on this road a million times. And I don't know, just that'd be fun to like talk about and just see like ways we can deal with that. And if anybody else has had those issues before, cause like as we ride, the longer we ride, it just seems like we ride less and less and it can kind of like
a little bit.
From riding being like your happy escape place, it can kind of blend with life a little bit,
A little bit. And I feel like this goes kind of with any hobby really is when you first get into a new hobby, you're buying all this stuff, you're buying like, oh, it's the new exciting thing. You're doing it like every weekend or as much as you can. But then as you get more used to it, as you do it longer, that rush, that high kind of wears off and it kind of levels out. So it doesn't kind of hit quite the same.
Yeah.
And I think especially with motorcycling, that's why we try to chase like new roads or try like off-roading or track or these different kind of experiences that still go with motorcycling, but in a different way. Or we try to take like longer and longer trips so we can hit a new road, so we can see a new place. But that also requires time and money and planning and all sorts of different things. Which can also feel discouraging. Sorry, we had a few technical adjustments to make.
It's cut, but we're back. But yeah, no, and I think part of it too is like once you do like hit those peaks of like you do the longer rides or you do a track day or something, right? It's just like then you kind of go back to your norm, and then that can kind of like feel kind of bland maybe at times.
I 100% agree.
And
I feel like this goes with, like I said, with pretty much like any hobby. I'll tie it back to my other favorite hobby, which is like, I love photography and things like that. And I love hiking. I like outdoor activities. But over the last like couple of years, I have not been taking that many pictures. I have not been like intentionally going out to like on a hike or on a trip to like take landscape photos or just take photos for myself instead of my like job.
Right.
Which, because I mentioned on the podcast before, I work in media, so I do photography and video for my actual full-time job, but then also that was my hobby. But then those two kind of blend together and it kind of loses its charm.
And I've heard it before too, of like you can end up having like your dream job, like, it's your passion or something, like a musician, At some point, it's going to become just a job for you, and like, so you like drawing that line of separating your hobbies from your work,
And it can be like a very tricky thing to navigate or kind of deal with, because you're like, you invested all this time and money into the hobby, and then you're not feeling like doing it because of whatever reason, whether it's because you've done it too much or whether because like, money's too tight or time is you don't have enough time, and you slowly start to feel like guilty about it because you bought all this stuff, you invested all this money, and now all of a sudden you're not doing the thing that you spent all this money on.
You get into motorcycling, it becomes part of your personality, and then all of a sudden you're like, I don't
want to ride today because
Yeah.
it's really hot outside.
Yeah. Or gas is $5 a gallon.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm hoping like I don't feel that way too much with, because I just spent a ton of money buying a bunch of off-road off-road stuff for my bike, and I'm just like, am I actually going to use this as much as I think I am? I mean, I still think it'll be nice to have long term, because like even if I don't use it as much this year, I'll use it more next year, or if I go like on a different trip, I have that option to bring all that gear, and I'll just keep it for, I don't know, years at this point.
You should try that fire break road sometime on your way back.
Yeah.
Next time you're down or something.
And it's just so I'm hoping like I make good use of it, but at the same time I was also that thought did cross my mind. I'm just like, am I really gonna need all of this? The boots were definitely like top tier purchase.
Yeah.
Like S tier purchase, but everything else I'm like, I didn't need it. I just wanted it just to kind of like switch it up, make it a little bit better for off-road, especially with how hot it gets. But then again, like for me in the summer, I'm not a summer person, I'm not a hot weather person. And no amount of gear, no amount of ventilation on your gear
it's not
is going to change the fact that it's 95 degrees outside and the air is hot. Even when you're moving, it's still hot.
Yeah.
So for me, that's like one of my key discouragements. But going back to what I was saying about photography, is because I do it for a full-time job, but also I had it as my hobby. But at the same time, I also feel like I've did a lot of hikes in this area, and I've been to so many spots in this area that everything just kind of feels too same and bland, which is why I have this like constant itch to go to like a different state or a different country or like a completely new place, because it kind of brings that spark out. But that's tricky to do.
No, for sure. And like I even out riding this last weekend, like by myself, I was still like, it's like, oh, I'm on the bike. I'm like, I'm trying to get into the groove of it, but I'm still finding myself getting into my head and like, and it did take a lot of like not effort, maybe that's not the right word, but I had to, really reframe of just like, I'm in the mountains, like I am riding.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I've done it a million times, like, but at least I have the mountains close by to go do that out, and I don't know, it's a lot easier to think about that stuff too while riding, being stuck behind a Jeep going down Guardsman's Pass 10 miles an hour. So
yeah, that's so true.
But yeah, it was just like, if you've gotten to motorcycling and you're just like, this is like my zone, I can focus on what I'm doing, I'm riding. For me, it was starting to feel like I wasn't really getting that itch anymore, but now here we are. It's like, we're going to go ride after work today. It's just really, a lot of it is just reframing and, not letting like the fact that you're riding less or you want better conditions while you ride, like that's normal, I think, and that's okay. Especially if you're maybe you've been riding for a year or something now, and you're like, no, not today.
Yeah,
like, that's okay. You don't have to ride every day.
And I think it's if you're like truly not feeling it, or you're not in the good like headspace and stuff like that, I would argue that it's safer not to ride. Than to ride, because if you're riding while you're like distracted and you're constantly thinking about other things, or there's other stuff going on that you're like not focusing on the ride itself, then that could possibly lead to an accident or an injury or breakdown, like something, because you forgot to check because your mind's like too occupied. And I'm kind of hoping like the goal of this episode is to remind people that it's okay to not always do the hobby that you're like spent the money on doing.
Maybe you need a break.
And it's okay to take a break. It's okay to like feel discouraged, because we've all been in that like similar kind of situation before, where we just don't feel like doing the thing that we think we should be doing. And
like for me, I was gonna like, I feel like it's been a few weeks now, and like I am like working on getting back out to doing the stuff I like to do, and that's been like the hard part, is like, it's like we can tell you all day, it's like, oh, like just you can take a break and everything like that, but like at what point, like at what point do you want to get back out and do your stuff, or like do you have like what I don't know, even me asking you, like, do you have any techniques that like for, not forcing, I don't want to say forcing yourself, but,
unfortunately, I think that's like the best word to describe it.
yeah,
Is like, I'm generally not like a super like anxious person or worrying person and stuff. But at the same time, like, I think one of the best ways to do something is to expose yourself to the thing. Like, if you have social anxiety, you got to go to social places. If you have anxiety of riding your motorcycle downhill on the road, dirt trail into a sharp turn, you got to do it, because if you are always worrying about it, then you just never do it and you'll constantly avoid it. If you have anxiety about going to the gym with a bunch of people that could potentially look at you, you just have to do it and just remind yourself that like no one here actually cares that you're there.
For me, it was like one thing I did have to like work on while the last few times I've been out is like going through a green light, and like just watching that other car trying to make the oncoming car who wants to make a left-hand turn. I'm just like, they don't see me. I'm like hovering my brakes. I'm trying to swerve. I'm like, oh no, you know. But
other things that like I try to do is kind of like plan ahead. I think that kind of helps a lot, because it kind of gets you like sort of hyped up for it. Not hyped up, but kind of like mentally prepared for it, especially if you're doing like want to do a longer ride, or if you tell yourself like, oh, this day of the week I'm free, I don't have anything else going on, the weather is kind of nice, I should get out on my bike and like have a plan. Have a route that you're going to do, and then do said route, or go from like your house to like point B, from like point A to point B. Once you get to point B, reevaluate and think like, oh yeah, I kind of want to ride more now, I'm really getting into it. Because my mom always has this saying, and it's like, the appetite comes while you're eating. Like your appetite comes to you while you're eating food. So sometimes if you're like not feeling too hungry, or you know, if you're like having a rough day and you know you get into that spiral of like, I don't even want to eat anything, like I don't really want to do anything, but then you eat some food and you're like, oh shit, I feel much better now that I've eaten some food, and you keep wanting to eat, so you have a bigger appetite. It's kind of the same thing. Like if you want to go on the ride and you feel like you're forcing yourself to, plan a short route, point A to point B. Once you get to point B, reevaluate how you feel. See if you're like, I'm not really feeling it, I should just go back home. Make sure it's not super far, maybe like 20 or 30 minutes away from your house. You get to point B, park, maybe grab some drink, maybe stop at like a scenic spot, enjoy the view, like take it all in. Don't get on your phone, don't check social media. Just take it in, listen to the sounds, touch some grass, drink some water, maybe bring a snack with you. And then once
I'll even pack like those little mini camping chairs that we have.
Little camping chair. Have yourself a little picnic. Take yourself on a little picnic date. Yeah. It's cute. It's whimsy. It's fun. And then once you like sit there, and once you had your fill of fresh air and nature, and I realize that's like tricky to do in some places than others, depending on where you live.
Yeah.
But once you're there and you're kind of taking in the view, taking in the sights, the sounds, touch some grass, get back to your bike and kind of think like, oh, this is actually really fun. I'm going to keep going to another point B.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll go grab some lunch or some coffee while I'm out and then head back home. Or maybe I'll just do a full loop around the specific, like wherever you live, like whatever route or fun twisty road that you have.
Yeah.
And just do that and then ride home. But if you're at that point B and you kind of did all that and you're still like, I just don't know if I'm in the right space for it, I don't know if I'm feeling it, you can just go home. Mm-hmm. You're not that far from home already, so it's not a big time commitment, maybe like an hour and a half of your day. Not a big time commitment. You get on your bike, you ride back home.
Yeah.
Easy. Like and then you try again the next time you have availability, because it's okay to not do things sometimes. Like I have days I try to do it like at least every month and a half, where I just call it a gleb day, where basically like it's usually on the weekend. I'll wake up. I don't have any plans. I don't have plans with friends. I don't have plans with family. I don't have any like things specific that I want to do that day. I wake up. I have myself a slow morning. I kind of just make some breakfast, make some coffee, or I'll go to a coffee shop and grab some coffee. And then I just kind of do whatever comes to mind that day. Maybe I'll sit and read for a while. Maybe I'll just watch TV. Maybe I'll play video games all day. But it's just doing things that I want to do. And then for me, at least, it's helpful because like once I do that long enough throughout the day, I get kind of like a little too stir crazy inside the house. So then I'm just like, okay, maybe I'll, if I didn't go to a coffee shop for breakfast, maybe I'll just go to a coffee shop for lunch and grab some coffee and just kind of sit there. Maybe bring a book with me or just kind of sit and people watch or just sit and sip some coffee, or I'll go and do like a short little hike. It's a little harder to do that now that it's like 90 degrees outside, but in like spring and fall, that's what I would do is just like go on like a little like hour to 2 hour hike just to kind of break up the day a little bit. But I think it's important to also like take days for yourself and to like have those days where you're not really planning anything. You're just kind of doing things that you want to as you want to do them versus laying it all out, because I feel like
it shouldn't be a chore. That's the one thing.
Yeah,
writing,
exactly.
Like if it's feeling like a chore, then maybe it's just not your day to do it. You know, like plan it out or like you said, make a plan for it and then see how you feel.
Yep.
Usually like it took me a bit, but once I was out, I was like, okay, like, this is nice. I was able to like, reframe and actually be present in the moment, be safe.
Yep. And it comes to you while you're writing. And especially if you're going like to a place that you haven't either gone before
or haven't
been a minute since you've gone, but like it can feel really discouraging, like riding up and down the freeway. Like one of my biggest things is like, there's this new trail that I want to try out, or this new spot that I want to like maybe ride my bike up to, or this new dirt trail. But just to get there is like an hour and a half ride. So that's like an hour and a half there, an hour and a half back.
That's 3 hours.
That's
of your
like
day.
3 hours of the day. Plus you're
including the time.
Yeah. Plus then you're on the trail for maybe like 2 to 3 hours or however long. So that's like almost an entire days of commitment just to like hit a random trail somewhere. And it's fun if you have that plan in advance, but also at the same time, like I work 5 days a week and I get 2 days off. And sometimes I'm just like, I also want to do other things with my time off on the weekend that doesn't involve sitting on a highway for 3 hours out of the day, out of one of the days. But then there's also like, you got to catch up on chores. You got to like run some errands, and you're using that time to like one of the weekend days to also do that. Yeah. And I think sometimes it's important to leave a day, like once in a while, to leave a day open to just doing stuff that you want to do, because I think our lives are already so structured, so rigidly, for most of us at least. If you work like a standard job, any job, whether it's regular 9 to 5 or shift work, and you have family, you have this structure. You wake up in the morning, you go to work, you come home, you eat food, you hopefully relax, you eat dinner, you go to sleep. Yeah. Rinse and repeat 5 days a week, 6 if you're like for some folks or more. And it just, that monotony, I feel like it just gets to us. I also don't think that's like, it's the system we have, but it's also like kind of goes against what people typically want. Some people really like having that structure, but at the same time, I feel like the repetitiveness and the monotony of it kind of will eventually get to anyone. Yeah. And with that too, I would say too, like, you know, if you go out and you go for a ride, maybe you're not feeling it or whatever it is, like, you know, if you have riding friends, hit them up. Maybe they haven't been in a minute. Like, I feel like, you know, we rode for the first time, gosh, in forever. Just last weekend, you know, and then we're going out on a ride today with Emerson. Yep. You know, so we're just trying to like squeeze that back into the monotony of it. And it can be discouraging, and it has been like not having like that, what would you call that? Like that escape from everyday stuff. You know? So. And it's hard to do. And going back to what you said about like having that friend group, or if you have friends that ride, or if you're a solo rider, I highly recommend finding at least like 2 or 3
find someone you
people
vibe with,
that you vibe with, that also ride, to go on rides, and make sure they're kind of like, make sure they're not like crazy riders or anything like that, because I feel like
if it's someone you know, even better. But if not, then
when we ride together, I feel like we're kind of like roughly on the same level. Like we're not gonna like encourage the other person to do something that they're not comfortable
outside
with.
our skill.
Yeah. And if someone's faster or slower than someone else, the faster person just kind of goes ahead. We wait up.
And we're good.
Goes ahead, wait up a little bit.
Yeah.
Mainly Emerson.
Yeah.
I'm slow.
Well, and that's what's nice, right, about having that kind of a group dynamic is just like there's no expectation to like you need to push yourself to keep up. Like you're on the same road. You're going to meet up eventually. You have comms. At some point, you're going to reconnect.
Exactly.
No, and if you don't have any like riding friends, I mean, check out social media. There's like even here, there's like the Utah Adventure Riding Group. There's
plenty
all
of
sorts
riding
of
groups.
people who are like, hey, come ride with us, come check it out. And just, if you vibe,
hit up your town's subreddit.
Yeah. If not,
Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
You've met folks at just a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like go to a coffee shop. You see somebody
back
with
when
a
I was more
motorcycle.
social.
You see a motorcycle, like chat up with them, see if maybe they want to go on a ride. Hell, like half the motorcycle friends I made was through you.
True.
You've met people here.
Yeah. Well, and then, heck, even check your dealer. If your dealer has like a good community, like Eurosports, every month they do something.
They do like their bike breakfast and bikes.
Yeah. Like you can find people
morning.
if you're willing to, so.
There's demo days. That places do. I know like Cycle Gear has bike nights. Like,
oh yeah, they do that
every few nights. I never go to them because it's always a bunch of sport bike riders that I don't associate with. I'm an adventure rider. I'm bougie.
I feel like it's a younger crowd.
It's a very young crowd. Yeah. But there's all sorts of different events. And I think if you're kind of feeling like more alone or more discouraged, it can be kind of nice to have that, at least that one person that kind of be like, hey, we should go on a ride. Or, hey, I'm planning on hitting this up if you want to join. And it just kind of feels nice. One, it kind of like, especially, I feel like for me, if I plan something with someone, then I am less likely to back out of it because I'm like, I already told them I'm going to go. Yeah. I'm not going to like last minute be like, hey, sorry, I'm just not feeling it. Yeah. Because then it's like, you do that enough times and people stop inviting you and then you start to wonder why nobody invites you anywhere.
Right.
But, so I'd much rather just go and then hopefully you vibe with them, but it can be tricky to find people that kind of are on your same page on a lot of stuff. But
I would just say
out there.
Keep trying, and then in the meantime, be your best friend and get out and ride. And
don't let the fear of doing things solo stop you from doing the things that you like, because then you'll just never do them.
And like I know it can be difficult like to get out and do stuff, especially with motorcycling, where it can be like intense at times, or and there is an inherent risk to riding, obviously, but it's just like, as long as if you go out and practice and like if you've been riding for a while, like you have skills you can fall back on, and you can like say, you can just you can trust yourself, just stay alert, keep look out for hazards,
trust in the force.
For me a big one is like getting back out after so long. And I have it to a degree every riding season, the start of every riding season for a bit. But especially this year, since it's been so busy, that target fixation is a big problem for me still, getting back out. And like,
that's one of the big things for me, like on the first few rides of the season.
And that can be scary,
it can be very scary. And I feel like whenever you target fix, at least for me, like you have that like hint of panic, and you slam your brakes, like either lock up your brakes or you shift your weight wrong, and they kind of like mess up the balance of everything. Especially like, I feel like on road, that's not as big for me. Off road, it's definitely like a much bigger thing for me.
If you saw when you're pulling in, little short story time, but like, they redid our parking lot. They repaved it and everything.
Oh no, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. The tar snakes here are so thick. I was pulling away to go for my ride. And again, it's like 90 degrees.
Yeah. So
and I hit that tar snake and the whole bike just went like that. Even going 5 miles an hour. I was in the friction zone and just that tar snake just like slipped and just like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this.
Yeah. Even when we did the Am Flats last weekend. Yeah. There was a couple of spots there where it's a little more loosey, a little more gravelly. Yeah. And you can feel the bike like sliding back and forth a little bit.
There was a bit where like there were some parts like where it spiked my anxiety a bit, especially like on like that sharp corner with like the deep gravel pit. But it's like one way I had to tell myself that you brought up is that like we didn't air down, we weren't planning on it, and so it's like that's going to be,
because most of the road is very packed down.
yeah.
So
there's just like a few bits. And like
couple
if
of
we
those
had
sections, it's not
aired,
really worth.
yeah. If we had aired down for those rough bits, it would like, well, I say rough, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But, it probably would have been better, but, I don't know. Like you just get through it and like, yeah, it sucks. You might have like a little spike here and there, but
For the most part, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
The bike will keep itself upright as long as it's moving.
yeah.
Well, for the most part. But like hitting those little like obstacles here and there, or if it's like an obstacle that you couldn't get past and you kind of like turn around, can also feel like very discouraging. But then you basically just have to kind of just try again. Just kind of keep going, keep trying it or keep going and
just adapt to the road. Cause I feel like with road construction here, like again, going back to tar snakes, like I just feel like they're getting worse and worse and like 100%. Thicker and looser every year.
And like for me, I still have like a bit of anxiety going like down hills into corners, especially if it's like a sharper corner. That's where I always
just off-road.
Right? Yeah. Because I just think like, oh my God, if I don't slow down enough, then I'm just going to go right off that edge or whatever. And then I kind of like overthink it. But then just have to remind myself, like, just slow down to a comfortable pace. Don't lock up your brakes. Don't like feather your brake. Like obviously slow the bike down. But
remind yourself that you know how to do it.
I know how to do it. I know how to shift away. I know how to, lean the bike to make that turn.
Yeah.
But it's just like seeing that from the top of the hill can feel like very, very like, whoa, shit, where am I going? Like, shit, what is that turn sharp? Is that not sharp? Like, what's on the other side of the turn is going to be like another person. There's going to be another like,
it's like all these
vehicle there or a side by side or a car. Oh no, there's a big rock there. I could like, if I don't hit that right, I could take my front wheel out and put it at a weird angle. Or, oh no, it's a little loose. Like if I don't do that properly, then I could like, the bike could slip from under me. It's like all these thoughts. It's like this sudden rush of thoughts going up into your head. And you just have to like kind of remind yourself, like, I know what I'm doing. I've done this before. I've done plenty of off-roading. Like this is not a turn that I have not done before.
Yeah.
And I can do it just fine. Like it's no big deal.
Yeah.
And if you drop your bike, you drop your bike. It's fine. You got the right I'm hoping if you're riding off-road, at least you have the right protection on it, and you're wearing the right gear. You drop it, you pick it back up, get back on, and you just keep going.
Yep. And then if you're doing it like if you're not off-road riding, you just got to watch your line in the road, watch for obstacles and tar snakes, and just do not grab that front brake.
No. And then I think the other thing for on-road is stuff if you're kind of feeling anxious or if you feel like you need to go faster because there's like cars behind you and stuff like that. Pull over to the side of the road, let them pass, give yourself like plenty of space, clear like a clear road.
Yeah.
If you're on a bike, like you can pull over pretty much anywhere and just let cars or other bikes and stuff pass you. It's not that big of a deal. And then just
don't do that on the highway.
What?
So they don't pull over off the side on the highway though. Get off on the exit.
Or get off on the exit. Like
really dangerous to.
If you're struggling on riding fast on the highway, then I would probably
you might want to wait.
You might want to like probably not ride on the highway because it's unfortunate it is an inevitable thing, and there's a certain expectation of speed on the highway. But I feel like highways also like the traffic's all moving in the same direction, and they're not very twisty like most like mountain roads, for example. And what I was trying to talk about is mainly like twisty mountain roads, like roads that you actually want to ride. And sometimes they'll have sharp turns or hairpins, and you might not be going as fast, and you just have to like let some people pass you, and then just go at your own pace.
Yeah. So no, and it can be, and it can just get a little dicey, I guess, at times. But like you will be okay as long as you've been practicing, you're doing your best to stay in the moment, pull yourself out. It's like, oh, like I'm getting nervous over something that hasn't happened. Yeah. Like, let me focus on what I'm doing as best I can.
Focus on what is happening versus what could happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Be present.
Yeah. But
that's the theme. And as going back to like the start of the episode of like being kind of, I guess not bored, but kind of feeling like things are getting a little monotonous and things like that.
Maybe you're in a funk.
Maybe you're in a funk. I work in the creative field. That's a very common thing is where you just get in a creative funk and everything just kind of feels like, I hate this picture that I took. I hate this video that I made. I don't like how this looks. All of these things. I feel like it's nice to kind of, sometimes it's good to take a break, maybe take a couple of weeks off, reevaluate, or like, and this one's a little tricky because it's like not everyone has the means or the time to do it, but like if you can go somewhere new, somewhere different, even if it's just like a neighboring town, just like a little staycation somewhere, a little weekend trip, I think that can also do wonders, even if it's like camping or something like that, or like a cheapo hotel. Just kind of like ride somewhere new, stay the night, ride back on a different road if you can. Just something to kind of switch it up so it's not always the same ride or the same thing every single weekend or
maybe
every
we should
single
do
week
the
to week.
Tory ride again.
Honestly, that'd be fun, but now it's boiling hot. So
we have to wait till fall,
like September.
Yeah.
But like that was super fun. Or even like I'm like throwing with the idea of thinking like maybe I should just take like a weekend overnight to like Idaho Falls or something like that.
Yeah.
Like leave Friday after work. It's only like a 4-hour, like 3-hour drive to Idaho Falls. Even actually not even that. I think it's like 2.5 hours from here. Like Idaho Falls. Like stay the night there and then maybe do like some kind of mountain loop in the Idaho mountains and then come back home.
No, and if you are
like camp somewhere in the forest there. Like different things like that. Like I feel like it's easier to do in some places than others because like here it can take a minute to get to any specific spot. And the spots that are already in our immediate area, I feel like I've been to like a good amount of time. So it's kind of like, I don't really want to ride there because I've already been there so many times. So you keep wanting to go further and further. But like in other places, like if you live in Europe or maybe like on the East Coast or something like that, where so many of these little towns are kind of so close together and kind of dotted all over the place, I feel like it can be a little bit easier versus
I was going to say, if there are any listeners who are like close, who are like within our vicinity, I guess, or like, you know, even like a couple hours outside, like, you know, one place you can go that's really awesome, that Maple Grove Hot Springs. Yeah. Gorgeous. Bryce Canyon. Oh my gosh, Bryce Canyon's awesome.
Capitol Reef.
Yeah, Capitol Reef
is beautiful.
And what is nice about Capitol Reef, even though it is hot right now, it is also not, and it is a park, but it's not as heavily trafficked as like Zion
not at
or
all. Or Bryce.
Or Bryce.
Arches.
Yeah.
And then like
in that sense, we are very lucky and to be where we are is like to have those parks like, you know, quote unquote close by, but they are. But yeah, we
also have like Grand Junction and like Ouray in Colorado and things like that, which is really nice. Or if you go north, we have like Idaho Falls, Island Park, Jackson Hole, and like a few different places. So it is kind of nice, but I've also been to so many of those places,
I know, right?
Like several times. So it's like, I keep thinking like when I visited my one of my friends out in Boston last fall, we took a drive through like Salem and Manchester by the Sea and Gloucester and kind of like Gloucester and towards like Rockport, and I think it's Cape Ann, that's little like peninsula that jolts out, or maybe it's Cape something, I don't remember. Anyways, but we're passing through like all these little towns on this like coastal road, and I'm just thinking the whole time like, shit, I would love to ride a motorcycle through here, because one, all these towns are so close by, so you feel like you're seeing so many different things within only like an hour drive. And then if you circle back, you can like go north, you can go up to like New Hampshire or Maine, or you can go south and you can go down to like Rhode Island or I don't remember my geography. Like Rhode Island or Pennsylvania, kind of just like all these different things. I'm like, it actually would be awesome if I were to live here. Like if I moved here, like it would be awesome to own a motorcycle here, because I don't know, like out east, like public land isn't quite as accessible, and there's not as many like public like dirt roads and stuff to hit, because so much land is like privatized over the years. That's the beauty of being out here in the West, is we have privilege to have so much public land where we can
drive through 4 hours of farmland to get there, so.
But like out east, but then there's so many just like paved, twisty, fun roads, and I'm like, I feel like if I lived out here, I'd probably just still keep my Tiger and like do some road touring with that, or get like a proper road touring bike, and then because it would just be like a lot of fun to hit some of these twisties.
Actually, that reminded me
on the East
of
Coast.
One thought when I was thinking about what we're going to talk about for recording this episode is that like, yeah, maybe I've been a little discouraged, but I went to go pick up some oil yesterday at the dealership. And you know what? Even just seeing other bikes and just looking at something new, it did kind of like get me, like I guess uplifted a little bit. I'm just like, oh, one day I could do something like that. It's like, but my bike can do that too. Just surrounding yourself with that stuff, or like with your hobby, that without actually having to like take the risk. If you're not in the right headspace, you can still go look, you can like plan and like
watch some vlogs.
Yeah, just visualize yourself doing it.
Yeah. Like anytime I watch like someone riding a motorcycle like on YouTube or something like that, I'm just like, oh God, now I want to go ride my bike somewhere. Like
me too. Although lately my algorithm has been like close calls and motorcycle wrecks. Like,
don't watch those.
Yeah, I know, they're stupid. So.
It just makes you more anxious.
Yeah. So, so pay attention to your algorithm too. If it's giving you shit, then
maybe take a break.
Yeah.
Reset it.
But my other thought actually
watch cat videos.
Yeah. Cat videos. Yeah. My other thought I just had though is, like if you're listening to this and if you've been discouraged or you need ideas, like maybe in the comments, just mention like stuff near you. Don't give your address or hometown necessarily, but like name some rides or locations you like to ride to. And maybe there's somebody else who's viewing those or listening and it's like, oh, I live kind of close to that. I could check that out. Yeah. So. And,
I think it's just kind of, it's a very personal like battle. It's not like it's not really something that an outside source can like help you with. I mean, if you go to like a therapist or something, that's great. Sure, and they can kind of like,
and for the record, we are not licensed or certified or
mental health
remotely qualified to give mental health advice.
No. We'll discuss it, but we won't
it's not advice.
We're not licensed therapists, so any advice is not like doctor recommended, I guess, for like a better term. But like I said, is on that, I don't remember what I was going to say.
You lost it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But if you do see a therapist, like obviously, I mean, they can work through some of these things and work on like in different anxieties and stuff like that. But what I meant to say is just like, I feel like a lot of this stuff is really up to you to kind of like help yourself help you, basically. Like,
well, with it being up to you too, like I said, you can even, like you even mentioned, hop on Reddit and just ask, like, if there's like a subreddit for your area, it's like, hey, does anybody know of any good rides or drives in this area? Like give yourself ideas. Those are external sources that you can use to help yourself.
Yeah.
So
I think that's pretty much all the thoughts I had.
Yeah, no, that's what I had too. So
if you are kind of like in the same headspace or you've been there before, throw some ideas down in the comments or in their emails of how you kind of get yourself out of the funk or kind of encourage yourself to go on.
And if it's in your budget, like maybe treat yourself, buy yourself some new gear. You can use our link.
New gear, buy yourself a new bike.
If you can afford a new bike.
No, don't do all that. Go take a trip somewhere.
Yeah,
that's what you should do, because I think that's one of the best things, at least for me.
If you have proper gear already, go take a trip.
If you have proper gear already, go take a trip. It doesn't have to be a motorcycle trip. Maybe.
No, it should.
I mean,
this is a motorcycle podcast.
It should be a motorcycle trip. But if you are like us and you've seen so many of the parts around us, go take a trip to somewhere very different. Go to Europe, go to Japan, go to Asia, like a proper vacation trip. And while you're on that trip, stay off your phone. I mean, maybe get on it at the end of the day if you want to like check in with family, share some story, like post on Instagram, whatever. But while you're actively doing the thing, don't stay on your phone. Yeah. Anyways, let us know like some of your tips and tricks that you have, if you have any, of how to get out of a funk if you are in one. And then once again, to reiterate, we're not mental health professionals or licensed therapists or anything. But we are rooting for you. We are rooting for you. So take any advice we give with a grain of salt. And if you are like truly struggling, then do talk to an actual doctor, therapist, psychologist, someone licensed to just take care, discuss this stuff.
Do what you can, take care of yourself.
Yep. So. Anyways, Yeah.
That's all I had, and safe riding.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. Have a safe ride, and we'll see you in the next episode.
See ya.